So I needed to make a video for this Saturday. However, I'm not funny and rely on Poe to be funny. So instead of like learning how to be a better comedian and come up with that myself, instead I'm just going to include little stories for about 5 to 10 minutes, hopefully. So enjoy. So, a little less than 2 years now, I've had these Snapchats that I posted to my story that I think are beautiful, but just never could find a way to work into a video. So I'm just gonna wait about 35 seconds here and just let them play and let you guys watch them.
And I love food prep during Thanksgiving. So just take some of this and just like, and then mix it up and just like. Hey, but if you're not the best at whipping up those dishes, that's alright. As long as you get to spend it with quality people you love. Could you pass the salt? And you know, it's really fine because like I just found out this great new recipe for a delicious drink. Yeah, it's just a delicious drink.
So, the following story is completely untrue. However, there was a time in my life where I was up at about 5 in the morning on my like 9th cup of coffee, and instead of doing the work that I should have been doing, I came up with a small stand-up bit instead. So here are the results. So I have an unpopular opinion. Yeah, I know how the United States are nowadays, but I have an unpopular opinion, and I think it needs to be voiced. I am for more strict drug regulations. And I know, a lot of people will disagree with me, saying it helps, saying that, oh, we already have it, so why go back? Like, I understand. I get it. I get it. However, I think caffeine is ruining America. And yes, I hear some of you saying it's not the gateway drug. I hear you. But let me ask you, have you ever been sitting on a couch, smoking a blunt, watching some cartoons, eating some chips, and thinking, man, you know what sounds good right now? A line of cocaine. Because I never have. But you know, when I'm sitting here at 5 in the morning, what sounds amazing? Let me tell you a story. There was one time I was working on a project much like this much like this project I'm working on right now, and it was like 5 in the morning, even earlier than it is now, and I was just about finished, maybe 30 minutes left on working on it, and then I'd be completely done. But I just couldn't get myself to work on it, and I was just sitting there just hating this work, just hating this work. And I was just thinking, God, if anything could get me to finish this fucking project, let it happen. And right about then, my roommate walks in and was like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? It's like 6 in the morning. Just go to bed. And I was like, I can't. I just can't. I have to finish this project. It's almost done. I just have to finish it. And he's like, don't worry, I got you. And he like walked out, and he was gone for about 5 or 10 minutes. And I was like, oh, he's probably just gonna go to some coffee shop that's open 24/7, give me coffee, I'll finish this up, no big deal. And then he comes back and he's like, yo dude, and he holds out a little fucking key, the house fucking key of our apartment, and is like, snort this. And you know, 5 hours ago, not on 9 cups of coffee, I might have been a little more hesitant of this particular substance and would have been saying, no sir, this is not for me. But when you're 9 cups of coffee in and your project's still not finished, a line of cocaine doesn't sound that bad. So I just fucking snort that bitch up, and then we're like, whew. All right, I think I'm ready to finish this project. And he's like, holy shit, dude. Now you need another here. Snort. And even before he could finish it, I went, that bitch was done. So I ended up sitting back down, going to fucking town on that project, finished that bitch within 10 minutes. I was feeling amazing. However, something that you do not learn at your DARE programs. Cocaine isn't a drug that you choose to finish. Cocaine is a drug that chooses to finish you. And at that particular time, that cocaine was not done with me yet, so I just started standing up and walking around my room like real over-exaggerated steps, pushing my hands back and forth, just very energetic, like I have to do something, for about 2 or 3 minutes, until my mind decided what we were gonna do. I don't understand what took over me, however, I just had the overwhelming urge of working out, like I have to work out right now, like right now, like not, oh, let me get changed first, let me put on some run and shoot. No, I had to work out right then, so I bolted out the door. I was running, and my apartment complex had a little area around the entirety of it that was just for running. It was like a 2K track, and you might be thinking I look like a dipshit, and I won't deny it. I did look like a dipshit. I'm wearing Converse and jeans, and that's idiotic in its own right. There was some dude behind me running, and like, he looked like a complete fucking asshole. He was wearing like these slacks, like sharp black boots, a hat, a badge. I don't know what the fuck this guy was doing, but he ran up to me, tackled me, he picked me up, and he said, "Son, you're running out here about 5 in the morning. What the hell are you doing?" I've got multiple calls saying there's a disturbance, saying they're scared because they see you running out here. Now what the hell are you doing? And I just take a deep breath and say, "You want a cup of coffee?" My girlfriend's mother, every single year, for each person's birthday, will cook them the dinner that they want specifically for their birthday. Like, we'll say Destiny wants macaroni and cheese with ham for her birthday, and then the dad wants filet mignon. Like, no matter what it is, she'll cook it for each person's birthday. My girlfriend comes up to me and says, "Hey, my mother wants to know what birthday dinner you want since your birthday is coming up soon." And I say, Poe would have known. I want chicken Alfredo. Well, fast forward about 2 weeks, she ends up going up to him at work and being like, "Yeah, so-and-so, my mom makes this dinner for each person, so-and-so. She asked me to ask what Juan wants." And he immediately goes, "Chicken Alfredo." And she just stops, and he's like, What's going on?" And she was like, "I already asked him what he wanted." And the answer is, he wanted chicken Alfredo. He laughs and says, "That's great." And she goes, No, that's not even the worst part. He told me that you would know if I asked you." And he laughs again and says, "The worst part is, I did know exactly what he would have wanted." There was this one time me and Poe were just sitting at his house watching some YouTube, and he like shot up real quick and was like, "Oh dude, have you ever played any of the Final Fantasies?" And I hadn't, but he was like, "Oh my god, this is a perfect time. We have nothing else to do. Let me tell you about Final Fantasy and why you should play it." And he went through all these reasons, and I think he brought up Final Fantasy 13 and was like, "Dude, so-and-so, because these are all the reasons why you should absolutely play it. It's an amazing game, without a doubt, and the main character is pretty cool, but the side character is amazing. He's like the best character in the whole story. Like, there's this scene where he has to go on an enemy ship, but it turns out there was another character in there, and he picks him up and starts carrying out, and she starts saying this extremely, like, deep and emotional monologue, and he just responds with, Please. And it's just so fucking amazing. And honestly, it's like, it's still pretty high stakes, but definitely not attention grabbing as the rest of the Final Fantasies. And just at that moment, there was a scene where it goes, "Attention!
This is Larsa Farinus Solidor."
This story is not true, however, I feel the need to share it with the masses. And it just is something I came up with my free time. So just to give some context, this whole stand-up would have came about the time marijuana became legal in California. I recently tried the jazz cabbage for the first time legally, and I thought, what the heck, let's go crazy. Let's do it special this time. And I got edibles because I've never had an edible before. This was the first time I ever had an edible, and they had it in these little gummy packets. But the thing was, these little gummy packets had like 4 gummy bears in it. I think they were like 250 milligrams or some shit. And I'm used to smoking like 3 G's in a fucking single blunt. So I was like, this ain't gonna do shit. And lo and behold, it didn't do shit. So instead, what I did was I got like 9 to 12 packets of them and just poured them all in this Ziploc bag to just munch on whenever I felt like it. But here's the thing, I forgot it in the car. I put it in my glove box and just closed it right up. I forgot that I had it in my car, and fast forward like 2 or 3 days, I ended up driving this friend who had never done pot in her life. However, I ended up going into a Target for like 10 minutes and be like, hey, I'll be right back, don't worry about it. It's very distracted very easily, and ended up opening my glove box and being like, oh fuck, this motherfucker got snacks, and started eating them. And I came back in, and we both went home. We were gonna play some games, but I remembered, oh right, I should get those out. And I look for them and I don't find them. And I walked back inside, and I was just about to be like, hey, did you see anything with these gummy bears? And she pulled them out and was like, oh yeah, by the way, I hope you don't mind, I took some of your gummy bears. I figured it wouldn't be a big deal. And when I had to set her down and tell her that she just eaten pot gummy bears, let me tell you, rage has not filled a room as quickly as it had filled that room that day. And I just say, hey, it's in like 5 or 10 minutes. You're gonna see this in a different point of view, and I hope you understand. And in like 5 or 10 minutes, and she was like, I get it. I understand it now. I'm still fucking furious at you, but holy shit, do I get it. I walk up to her and I'm like, great, but I still want to make amends. Is there anything I can do to make this up to you right now? And she just looks at me and goes, you got any coffee?